What's up, card family? I've been thinking about this video for a while and almost didn't make it because this is going to be my most personal video that I've ever made, and I'm going to be stepping out of my comfort zone, and it's going to be a long video. But Dustin Bellinger, he's one of my closest YouTube friends, and I wanted to do this for him, so I'm going to do it. He made a tribute video for his father, who recently passed unexpectedly, and my condolences to you, sir. And he wanted you to make a sort of a tribute Father's Day response video for him. And so if my father unexpectedly passed away today, it wouldn't affect my life at all. I wouldn't shed a tear. I don't think I would even attend his funeral. And I'm sure the same could be said, and if I died, it wouldn't affect his life either. So I haven't spoken to my dad since I was probably 9 years old. And the few memories I have of him, every time I was around him, he was drunk. And so, yeah, there's that. And I do have one kind of good memory of him, and that was when he took me to the Vikings training camp in Mankato. I do remember that. But otherwise, every time I was around him, he was wasted. So yeah, and I guess he's recently, or not recently, but I guess he sobered up. He's got other kids, which I have met some of them, and they're good people. So, you know, why wouldn't I, if he's cleaned up and everything, why wouldn't I forgive him? Well, or why wouldn't I talk to him? Well, he's had this whole time to look me up, and he's never bothered to. He never bothered to call me or contact me or in any way. And he's the one who's missed out, man. He's never met my wife. He's never met any of my kids. And he hasn't seen the man that I've become, which, in my opinion, is just a fine person without him in my life. So that's that. Moving on. So some of you may know, some of you do know this, most of you don't. Maybe somebody's wondered about it, but if you've gotten a Blake autograph card, you'll notice his last name is Grohl, and you should know me that my last name is Abraham. And so, yeah, I am not Blake's biological father, but I'm not his stepdad either. He never has called me Blake, and his older brother Zach, they've never called me stepdad. To their friends, I'm their dad, and that's the way I look at it too. Carly has never been referred to as their half-sister, nothing like that. So I came along and met their mom. Well, I knew their mom from high school. I hadn't spoken to her in close to 10 years, and when I got with her, you know, this was my chance to be a part of Zach and Blake's life. Their dad is a douchebag too, so I just figure I can remedy that. You know, I can be their dad and take care of them, and that's that. But as far as my dad, and Dustin said in his video that he knows that not everybody has a close relationship with their dad, and so, but everybody has some male positive figure in their life. And so my great uncle, maybe my grandma's youngest brother, so he's the youngest of 6 kids. He's actually only a few years older than my mom, so I never really call him great uncle. I call him Uncle Al. He's been my positive role model. He's taught me a lot of things. He's taught me how to work on things, to fix things. His biggest thing was taking me hunting. He took me duck hunting and deer hunting, and those were things that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do without him. And so I thank him greatly. He taught me a lot about how to do stuff, and a lot about nature, and he taught me how to tell stories. He's a good storyteller. He's quite the storyteller, actually. And then it's interesting, coming to deer camp as a kid, and then as you get older, you start becoming part of these stories. And even though you were in the stories, that's not the way things happen, but you can't help just sit and smile and be proud of it. He was interesting the way he taught you things, though. He could be pretty brutal. He very vocal and, yell at you and stuff if you did things wrong. He was a big proponent of letting people figure things out for themselves. So what he would do is he'd put you in situations where you had to figure out what to do, and he wouldn't give you very much instruction. And we learned, me and my cousins, we learned a lot that way. So you'd go out duck hunting, and if no one's ever been out duck hunting before, you go out, an hour or longer prior to sunrise, and you find a spot where you want to park your boat, or you may have a blind already built, and you go and set up your duck decoys in certain patterns to get the ducks to fly around them and maybe land. And that was always a tough thing. When you were rowing or push-pulling the boat, or when you were setting up decoys, you just could not satisfy him. You were a dumbass, and what the fuck are you doing? What did you do? One of my favorite stories is just me and him went out. I was probably 12 or 13, and he was rowing the boat, and it was my job to set up the decoys. So I'd get him out of the bag, and I'd unravel the string, and he'd say, "All right, throw it right there," or drop the anchor there and throw the decoy that way. It's all depends on wind direction and stuff. He'd point with the oar. He'd say, "Put it right there," and then you'd put it there, and he'd say, "Not there, you dumbass! I didn't fucking say there. I said put it there." Or you'd throw it and it'd land upside down. Oh, Jesus Christ! Then he'd have to row over there. We'd flip it, or you'd throw it and the string would be hanging off the bill. Oh, that's really going to attract the ducks. So I'm unraveling these and throwing them, and he's not liking what I'm doing. He's telling me I'm all wrong, and so finally I just start unraveling and setting them down, and he's noticing this, and so he's like, "Oh, you're just taking them out now and unraveling them. You're not putting them up." So he grabs one. He goes, "Here, let me show you how to do it." He throws it. It lands upside down. "Look what you made me fucking do now!" and I just laughed. It was like that. He'd be all worked up. You weren't doing it right, and then we'd get in the blind, and then all was forgotten. You were best friends again, and that's just the way it was. And I remember many years later, I haven't duck hunted in a few years, but one of the last times that I duck hunted with him, he was getting kind of bad health, and so we just park him, and then me and my cousins would go and set the decoys up. And I remember setting them all up and then getting back to the blind, and we were sitting there waiting for shooting to start, and he said, "Whoever set these decoys up over here really did a great job." And that just made me really proud. So that was that, I guess, is my stories of sappiness and personal stuff, but that's really all there is to it. So congratulations, Dustin, on 400 subscribers, and I am deeply sorry for your loss. I know when somebody dies, it all becomes very awkward for, people. A lot of cliches are thrown around, but cliches are are born from truths, and most of us, we really mean it. You can reach out if you need help or you need somebody to talk to at any time. We're going to be there for you. So yeah, I think Big D said it. It's you never quite know how to handle yourself when you're at a funeral or when somebody close to a friend of yours dies. There's really nothing you can say that's going to make it better. So that's just the way it is. And thanks for watching, guys. Sorry for this long babbling car ride video. See you later.